Everyone, and welcome back to LTF. Today we will be talking about the quarterback situation around the NFL with all the quarterbacks who are free agents and some trade options. But before we do that, we're going to have a wild card recap with Logan. To you, Logan.
This wild card weekend was really wacky. Lots of upsets and things that we did not predict to happen. I just wanted to mention I was the only one to get the predictions right out of us four. So first off, let's talk about the Seahawks 49ers game. That was not very like you could predict that. That was a pretty easy game for the 49ers, I think. Geno Smith played very well, but Brock Purdy played better. If Geno Smith can keep doing what he's doing, he might be able to become a starter again next year, or at least, or could be their franchise QB. Next, we have the Jaguars Chargers game. This was one of the best games that I have watched in a while, and it came down literally to the wire, being down 27-0 at halftime, and then coming back to win 31-30. Just four picks in the first half from Trevor Lawrence, but coming back with four touchdowns. That's just very well done. Well done. Then we have the Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. This I don't think I'm the only one to say this. This game was a lot closer than I thought. 31-34 final, and the Buffalo Bills move on. Skylar Thompson, he looked all right for a rookie QB, not too well, but he did put up 31 points on the board and almost beat out the Buffalo Bills. So, and I feel like the Buffalo Bills, if they want to make a playoff or a Super Bowl run and attempt to win, they really need to step up their game, especially against the Bengals next week. Next, we have the Vikings against the Giants. Then we finally have the Vikings losing. I love this. I do not like the Vikings. I think that they are a fraud of a team. Their 13-4 record does not it does not explain. I don't understand how they got a 13-4 record. They should not be in this, and I'm glad that they are out, and I'm glad that the Giants won. Brian Dable as their head coach. I think he deserves Coach of the Year this year, and Giants win a 31-24 nail biting game. Next, we have the Sunday night game. That was the Ravens and the Bengals. Tyler Huntley, I feel like, played much better than anyone really thought. During the regular season, he played fairly well, but Bengals ended up pulling this one out 24-17 on a fumble in the end zone, return 98 yards for a touchdown by Sam Hubbard. That was a very impressive play. Next, we have the Monday night game, which was the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And boy, oh boy, you can see Tom Brady's age. Just the more he plays, the older he looks. As one of my fellow friends will say, talk a little bit about Tom Brady's condition right now and how he's doing, some possible options for him. I think this might be his last game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and boy, the first interception in the red zone in 7 years. That's just not a good look. But now let's talk about the four missed field goals from the Dallas kicker. That was just not good. Dallas managed to not squeeze out, but kind of defeat the Buccaneers by an impressive 31-14. I really figured that they would win. The Bucs just have not been playing very well, and I'm glad to see that this team is out of the playoffs now, because I do not believe they deserve to be in here, just like the Vikings didn't. And yeah, that's kind of that was this week's wild card round. Next, going up, we have the Chiefs and Jaguars game next week. This is the divisional round, and then this is the AFC side. Next, we have the Bengals and the Buffalo Bills, and then we have the NFC side. We have the Eagles taking on the Giants, and the Cowboys taking on the 49ers. some of my predictions, I think the Chiefs are going to be able to pull this one off. I don't believe that the Jaguars' luck is going to keep going. I think it's going to run out here. And I do think that the Bengals are going to be able to top the Buffalo Bills just based on how the Bills have been playing. They really they've been able to get a really good start, but then they kind of just die out after a while, kind of like the Browns. But I think that the Bengals are going to be able to squeeze out this victory. And then the Cowboys 49ers, I think it's just the 49ers are going to win. I think it might be a blowout. I'm sorry, Levi. But I really think that the 49ers have been playing some really good football late as of late, and I think Brock Purdy is going to be able to lead them to the NFC championship. And then finally, we have the Eagles and the Giants. I This one's a kind of hard one for me. I could see the Eagles winning this, but as much I don't want the Eagles to win this. I don't want them to be in another Super Bowl. I want to see the Giants make a run for it. I want to see them go to the NFC Championship, even if they don't make the Super Bowl per se, but maybe even maybe win and go to the Super Bowl. Who knows? That's it for me.
Thank you, Logan, for the wild card matchup. Very excited to see how this week goes. Next, we have probably the biggest thing that people are keeping an eye on in the NFL. What is Tom Brady going to do? We have Josiah with that.
Press conference. He ended his press conference by saying, I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything this year. I really appreciate all your effort, and I know it's hard for you guys too. It's hard for us players to make it through, and you guys got a tough job, and I appreciate all that you guys do to cover us and everyone who watches and is a big fan of the sport. We are very grateful for everyone's support. I love this organization. It's a great place to be. I love everyone for welcoming me, all you regulars, and just very grateful for the respect. And I hope I gave the same thing back to you guys. So thank you very much. Now, obviously, that sounds like a goodbye message, and that's what I would take it as. So obviously that brings up, what teams could Tom Brady go to? And obviously, there are a lot of teams that are out there looking for a quarterback. I think the biggest one that people are going to say Tom Brady should go to will probably be the Raiders. I think he could also maybe go to like the Saints or some team like that. A team that just needs a quarterback to succeed. Has every other piece, but just needs the quarterback. That's where he would go. Thank you.
Thank you, Josiah, for that update. We will probably have updates if Tom Brady does make a decision on this channel. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can get that. Next, we have another quarterback situation with Lamar Jackson, and Austin has that for you.
I have 5 picks for where Lamar Jackson will go. He's a really good quarterback. He's a better running back, in my opinion. Number 5, I have the Raiders. The dynamic between him and Devontae Adams would be very interesting. But the problem with that is the Raiders have a running back. And I don't know how he would feel if Lamar Jackson's just running the ball every other play. But I still think it's a good pick. Number 4, I have the Buccaneers. If Tom Brady does decide to leave, I think that'd be a perfect choice for him. They have Mike Evans, Godwin. I think it's a really good pick, in my opinion. Number 3, I have the Colts. Matt Ryan is over. He's done. He should not even be playing, in my opinion. After how many upsets teams have gotten against them, with the Falcons and recently against the Vikings, he should just retire at that point. I think Lamar would be a really good fit for that team, but the same thing happens with the Raiders. They have a really good running back, and I don't know how he would feel if Lamar Jackson was running every play. For our number 2 pick, I have the Falcons. in my opinion, this was a hard one becoming number one and two. I put him at number two is because Cordell Patterson is not that bad. He is pretty old though. I think to be a perfect fit, meaning that team is in the middle of a rebuild. Half the players are young, half the players are dying. I think it's a perfect fit, but not as perfect as number one, the Jets. Zach Wilson, awful. Mike White. Mike White is pretty good. At the same time, I think he's a little overrated. I don't know if he's a starter, a long term starter. I think he'd be a pretty good fit for the Jets. They got a really good defense, or offensive line, something worse, and they got some pretty good weapons. That wrapped up my segment.
All right, thank you, Austin. The last quarterback we'll be going over is Derek Carr, one of the most talked about quarterbacks who's being traded. One of the teams that I got Derek Carr possibly going to is the Jets. The owner, Woody Johnson, said that they are absolutely willing to pay for a veteran passer this year. And they said that they were going to go for Jimmy Garoppolo. But if they can't get Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr would definitely be the next best bet. Another team that I see Derek Carr going to are the Colts. The Colts are just falling apart. The rent-a-quarterback era has to end. They're not going to do anything. They have good talent. They have decent receivers. They got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Their defense is solid. But Matt Ryan is horrible. He needs to go ahead and retire. The Colts they're not gonna do good unless they got a good quarterback like Derek Carr. Another team that I got, as everyone's been saying, the Buccaneers. If Tom Brady does not return to the Buccaneers, Derek Carr is 100% a possibility for the Buccaneers. And I also have the New Orleans Saints. Financially, they're in a tough spot, so they need a clear-cut quarterback for next season. Especially if the Sean Payton trade goes down. They probably are going to be cutting Jameis Winston, and Andy Dalton is not the way to go. As a Cowboys fan, trust me, Andy Dalton is not the way to go. I promise. Another team that is falling apart seam by seam are the Carolina Panthers, who could really need Derek Carr there just to hold everything together. Yeah, and that is my take on Derek Carr. If Derek Carr makes a decision, we will have an update as soon as it happens. And yeah,